Actually, this study was this project is already done before the COVID, and there's a continuing study for this. So I will be presenting what has been done previously, and this is about mainstreaming, beyond the curricular mainstreaming of the Bicol University experience in peace education. Pero actually the title I submitted was, I think that the title is material because the content is, the purpose is the same. Okay. So the objective of the paper is the following. One is to determine the rationale for peace education because peace education is, the word peace is a value-driven term, so it has to be rationalized. Then also the history of peace education in Bicol University, how it began and the groundwork and the linkages and the building of our network. And third is the approaches to curriculum development. And number 4 is the challenges and the prospects. Now, the methodology in this project is we use the descriptive method, and then we have the key informant interview. We did some interview with people who have been involved in the program for the past several years, and also our alumni and other network partners. Then we also have the secondary data from the Office of the Registrar and from the other previous studies conducted by other scholars. Okay, so the rationale is that we found out that peace education is developed in a response to the devastation of World War II. These are the historical aspects of it. But above all, the rationale is that universities are bastions of culture and the preservation of culture and the innovation of ideas. So therefore, peace education can be rationalized in line with the objectives, the mission, and the vision of the university. Then, the early beginning, the Peace and Security Studies program of Bicol University began after the university joined the International Association of University Presidents in 1993, and that was a very long time ago, almost 2 decades. It was when the former president of Bicol University, Dr. Lilia Corporal Sena, went to Kobe, Japan, and among the presidents, the representatives of the UN Commission on Disarmament Education presented a curriculum. Dr. Spiegel and Dr. Miles presented a curriculum. And among the Asian university presidents there, it was only Bicol University who responded to the invitation to adopt the curriculum. That's why the curriculum that we have today, the program that we have today in Bicol University, actually, it is originally not from BU, but it was taken from the UN Commission on Disarmament Education. Although in 2008 we did some realignment of the program. So in the early beginning, we piloted the program. So we started first with the master's program. It was they did it in Gubat, not in Gubat, but in Magallanes, Sorsogon. And at the time when we have the curriculum, they said that they were wondering to who shall be the students or the recipients of this program. So at the time, the DILU was implementing the reform of the police. So therefore, we found an opportunity to invite the policemen who were, sabi nila, they will be attrited, they will be removed from the service if they don't complete the degree program. So we invited them to come to our program. And also, some of the officers of the PNP also, we said that we can offer them the masters and the PhD for them to become degree holders. And the selection of the participants was done in collaboration with BU and the administration of the Philippine National Police. Then the implementation and the institutional linkages. So we have, of course, we have the linkage first to the Kamsing and Ola, and then also we have the linkage to the linkage with the PNP in Camp Crame. And presently, the program is evolving because we itong study ito is a past. We have a continuing program today to remodel our peace program, to reshape the program, to redefine peace, to readapt it to the new situation. And we are going to open up linkage again with Camp Aguinaldo, especially with the National Defense College, because most of their masters in National Security Administration are looking for PhD. So we are trying to bank on getting these people to be in our program. So sabi nga nila, when the president then presented the initial implementation of the program in Japan, the first question of the Japanese representative was, why the police? Why do you have to educate the police? But we rationalize that they are the ones who need it most. So, and itong next slide. Okay. Curriculum development. As an emerging interdisciplinary field, the peace studies draws heavily on allied disciplines like political science, sociology, and philosophy. Because there is no really a discipline that you can say peace studies. Because in the Philippines or even abroad, there is no degree that says you are peace studies. Although there are applied conflict resolution studies, but it is not really a full-blown peace studies. Therefore, it relies on the program relies on the help of other sciences, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Especially one of the challenges is because the university is somehow parochial in everyone defends their own turf of discipline, and so the coordination process is one of the challenges to create a department which is interdisciplinary. Okay. Now here are the challenges. I have already spent 7 minutes. Okay. The challenges and prospects. First is the building goodwill and acceptance with the academic community. So yung mga naunang challenges nila is that it was very difficult to find acceptance in the university. Not everyone wanted the peace program because maraming issues. So I cannot discuss the issues, but nandun sa paper. Then another is engaging the best faculty members. So we have to find the best faculty members because the program in a university is always judged by the caliber of the faculty, and it's very difficult to invite faculty members from other institutions, especially if we don't have money and resources to complement their services. Then developing network and linkages. Sabi nga nila, in the interpretive words na building network and linkages is also a challenge because when you ask for a linkage, your partner will always ask you, what can you give us? And what can we give you? So it is an exchange of benefit. So if you don't have much resources, then it will be a challenge for you to open up a linkage with other institutions. Then also data banking and consultancy. Then addressing the Philippine peace process because we want to be engaged in the Philippine peace process. Although the department was not able to be involved in any of the national government efforts as an institution, but our students, our doctoral students are members of this committee, especially yung nandun sa Bangsamoro na committees, and then presently yung natin ngayon yung spokesperson ng sa West Philippine Sea is also a student, and that's how that's the only indirect way by which the program impact national development. Then also the Bicol Peninsula is a virtual laboratory, and we have experimented and made some, the department has made some innovations, like for example the schools of peace. Kasi sa Mindanao, they have the so-called School of Peace, and we replicated this in San Isidro Elementary School in Castilla, Sorsogon, supported by the UNDP. So kung nagkaroon kami ng model school na ang integration ay peace talaga. So because we would like to see the DepEd to come up with this kind of, adapt this kind of, and then we also have the consortia about the peace education. These are some examples of what they have done previously as, and then also addressing the development needs, how to complement the development needs of the country and the region, and also the need for education, how we can say, okay, so thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to present the study.
Okay, thanks up. So anyway, nagpasa naman na yung manuscript. So, let's proceed to the Q&A, sir. Let's converse, Father.
Hello, good morning, sir. Your study showed that the Google University studies have earning wages in PNP. Now my question is, with the issues found in the PNP, from back then until now, do you believe that these studies have somehow bridged the gap between theory of the under studies and practice?
I think, ma'am, siguro, yes, in some way, because like, for example, our alumnus, General De Leon, for example, yung kanyang dissertation is actually, because of the gaps, that is his dissertation, and that was his program, he implemented in Bicol region, and for several years it became, and then, when he retired and when he became the president of the Mindanao State University, he put up the Peace and Development Study Center in MSU. Kaya sabi niya, pagbalik niya, sabi niya, ito ngayon yung natutunan ko sa video, I put it up in Mindanao, sabi niya. And also, pero sadly, we also have some alumnus who were involved in serious, if one was even dismissed from the surveys. Siguro mga lapses yun. Pero ang target namin dito is that we would like to influence the policymakers so that yung idea ng peace concepts, they will be able to cascade into their policies and things that they do in the Philippines.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's start.
Overall po, very appreciated. And then the institution of the PC studies in EU is very impact. Kaya my question is something beyond the straight to in the university itself, there are peace issues, like on research side, like in the last graduation, and then there's been the tradition of some graduates, activists that they will go their life is back, and then the other side, the ROTC cadets will also be doing their thing. Has there been an effort to, in a university, to talk that over incidents like that? Pwede ba yung maging daan para yung PC studies to bridge those ongoing tensions, or those are not really big issues, but I think those are microcosmic situations that reflect our bigger society. Meron bang relevance ito natin sa conversation?
Medyo parang wala kami ginagawang ganun internally. That's why, admittedly, we have a lot of engagement externally, but okay, if we look inwardly. But that suggestion is valid because we can innovate things to promote dialogue, for example. Kasi that's the only way we can bridge the gap, to promote dialogue and to promote transparency among the constituents. Kasi yun lang naman ang I think that's the way. Kasi we have been already contemplating of doing some studies how to counter extremism among our students, because that's very prevalent among the students today, although not majority, but a sizable group, na ang tendency nila is to think on the extreme. So we want them to come to the middle, and siguro yan ang we can innovate some sort of a student development program or even faculty program, even the enhancement activities to na magkaroon sila ng dialogue, exchange of ideas so that they will understand each other and avoid this traditional parochial mindset ng mga tao.
Okay, thank you, Father. Next.
Sir, one of the most or the identified gaps that were written in the manual or was discussed is the governing bodies which controls the institutionalization of the curriculum. In your opinion, what is the status of the buy-in? Sa target natin, I have seen the uniform order to really mainstream this one, you really need to have a buy-in to the uniform personnel because they are the ones that implement. So regardless what frameworks we are using, if we cannot have the buy-in of our uniform personnel, in your opinion, as of now, what is the buy-in of the uniform personnel in this? Their buy-in, sir. Kasi may mga lead studies yung DPS na dito, and you have already said that this was already way back in so meaning we have ample amount of time to see their perspective on the buy-in on this study, sir.
We have one study actually about the alumni. It was a qualitative study done by Dr. Agneses, and it's about yung mga graduates namin ng PASA and what they have done, what they have implemented, what they have accomplished after finishing the program. So yun ang hinaan namin. And but we would like to come up again with another study na talagang comprehensively what has been the impact of our program to the Philippine National Police. Kasi although sila ang namin, target noon, pero we have to see kung ano talaga ang wala pang scientific na study to find out how the program impacted the kasi 20 years na siya, kung dapat na may return of investment na yan.
So that is one of the pwede kong masuggest because in 20 years, mas maganda na makita na natin yung the effect. Kasi tignan natin kung ano yung buy-in nila. As well as we can reduce the updates of the SDGs where tignan natin yung align yung iba ng mga na-implement nila that were based on the peace evaluation. So yan ang maganda. Kumbaga moving forward. And aside from that, maganda sana talaga na in 20 years makita na natin yung kasi magandang kwento ito eh. Kasi kung tinitignan mo step by step na discuss dito. So it will really be a good time to see the implementations and the follow-up for this time. Otherwise, this is maganda sir. And another thing pala sir, you said kanina that this is not original study. Where is this?
Yung title lang kasi it was submitted to some publication iba yung redirection. Kaya nakita ko sa laptop ko yun ang title. Pero actually, for this purpose, we have the title. Kasi the same lang naman yung content niya. Objective niya.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sana.